Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Higurashi. So, if I remember right, last time we had a girl over at her house and didn't tell our parents, and so we're bad kids, I think. And we cooked food. That's what bad kids do. They make meals. And it might be the start of our Doki Doki adventure with our classmate. Also, it's too loud. I'm sorry. Gotta turn it down. Okay.
ケイちゃんの親、帰ってきたんだね。
栄養剤臭がプンプンして目は充血してて、どうも丸二晩徹夜で相当の修羅場だったらしい。大人は大変だ。
ケイチ君のお父さんって画家さんだったかな。画家さんも大変なんだね。そういえばそうでしたわね。一度どんな絵を描くか拝見したいものですわ。
An artist, huh? I'd seen a number of watercolor and acrylic paintings on display, but he seemed to have been doing some other job too. Just what did Dad do exactly? What if Dad's part of the evil crime operation thing that Mion's the head of? Wouldn't that be something? He didn't let anyone into his workshop after all. I wanted to sneak a peek one day.
結局、家を開けたのは二晩短い攻略期間だったね。で、ケイちゃんは異中のキャラを攻略できたのかな。両親不在はギャルゲー主人公の基本だしね。
It is actually. You've got to have parents that like live abroad or something.
好感度をいっぱい稼いでちゃんとフラグが立ちましたですよ。
I have no idea what any of you are talking about.
じゃあこれでケイチ君ももう自炊しなくてもよくなっちゃったんだね。ゆうべは何を作ったのかな。
In the end, I didn't make a single thing myself.
ゆうべは野菜炒めを。
Oh,
ケイちゃんも少しは料理らしいものを作れるようになったじゃない。
it's more than just a box of rice.
野菜炒めを作ったんだね。美味しくできたかな。レナさん、暑苦しいですわよ。なんで私にベタベタくっつきますの？美味しいご飯に仲良くお皿を洗いっこなのです。いいの。暑苦しいと言ってますのよ。
何の話？
Mion, utterly confused, asked me for clarification, but I just barely, albeit transparently, averted my eyes.
そうそう。みんなさ、今日の午後に予定はあるかい？ないよね。あるわけないよね。
Today was Saturday, the beautiful day on which we're liberated from the confines of school in the afternoon. Actually, the school in Hinamizawa had slightly different Saturdays than those in the city. There were a lot of students here who brought a bento, ate it at lunch, and then went to play in the school or around the schoolyard. You could say that the entire school turned into a children's playground. There were mountains behind the school, and if you went down that way, you'd find mountain streams. You could avoid the strong sunlight and make conversation in the classroom if you wanted to. You could also play hide and seek in the construction pipes. That doesn't sound dangerous. Of course, you were free to go home as well. There were some kids who went home and helped water the fields or tended to stores. If Mion was bringing up the afternoon like this, then it must have been for some crazy big club event. However, sadly, I had something I needed to do before taking part in whatever it was.
お仕事ですか？ついてないのです。 の仕事でございましょうね。
What do you mean work? You do literally nothing, Keiichi.
お父さんの画家の仕事のお手伝いとか。
You sit around complaining about your friends trying to kill you. He's not bored.
お父さんの絵のモデルになるとか。モデル？ヌード？
Oh, that's weird. I looked into Rena's eyes and saw myself completely naked in a questionable pose, with a single rose in my mouth.
ないない。それだけは100万積まれても絶対に
I
な
mean,
い。
a million yen is a million yen, I'm just saying. To get rid of Rena's delusions, I grabbed her head and swung it from side to side.
やめて
とまあ愉快な妄想は置いといてだ。とにかく俺にはちょっとお昼に仕事がある。それが終わってからの合流でいいなら OK だぞ。
お昼に仕事？おお、そりゃなんだかかっこよさげじゃない。なになに？ひょっとして各界の VIP との会食？
VIP?
ビジネスランチとか。
実に悲しいことだが正解だ。
Everyone shouts wildly, surprised. It was true. Today I'd be on the job with my family. For my dad's job, he was having about 10 people from the publishing agency over for a house party. He called people from work for a party the day after having stayed up 2 nights in a row. I'm amazed at their vitality. Adults have it pretty rough. Of course, it would be incredibly uncomfortable for me. It would be really tiring to have to force myself to smile at some old dudes I didn't know. But they were my dad's important business connections, so offending them would be bad. Well, with all that said, it was going to get very uncomfortable for me today, starting at lunch.
これは理髪そうなお子さんで具足の圭一です。圭一
He likes to get himself killed.
出版社の本田さんだ。
Honda-san? Are you sure he doesn't make cars?
そしてこちらは印刷会社の井上さん。ご挨拶しなさい。
どうもこんにちは。息子の圭一です。
My pastimes are getting myself killed at my friend's murder dungeons.
父がいつもお世話になっております。
圭一くんもお父さんのように絵は描かれるのですか？圭一くんの絵もぜひ拝見したいな。
Sorry, no, I'm actually a very boring character. I do literally nothing interesting. My dad is such a brazen occupation, that of an artist. Although, I don't really know what kinds of things he creates. I don't really care, and I don't want to see anyway. Dad's so tight-fisted about it, so he doesn't show them to me very often anyway. I'm not a kid anymore, so I wouldn't care at all if they were pictures of naked ladies or anything.
圭一くんもお父さんに指示してしっかり勉強すればきっとお父さんのような素晴らしい作家
Look,
になり
man,
ますからね。
I have things I want to do in my life too, you know?
ここだけの話ですけど、親父ってそんなにすごい画家なんですか？
I readied myself and whispered my question. It might have seemed odd for his son to be asking this, but when I did, he gave me this really strange grin and tightly clamped down onto my shoulders.
ええ、それはもう本当に素
Oh
晴
no,
らしい
it is
作家
naked
なんですよ。
そうですか。それは良かったです。
購入制限はないし、ファンサービスはするし、
Oh no!
ファンレターには必ずお返事をくれるし、
Oh no.
世間のニーズもちゃんと汲み取っていて、
Oh no, it's a bunch of old men, they're creepy!
靴下は脱がしたら絶対に NG。
What?
それはメガネや制服だって同じなんですよ。そこを前原先生はよく理解している。イベントは参加ごとに必ず壁で大行列だし。
すみません。
He's a manga artist.
絵ってのは壁に飾るものじゃないんですか？
No, no. Well, not for your friends to see
そ
anyway.
んなことはない。始めは誰もが真ん中から始めるんです。そして島角、大通りの島角と階段を登って、そして至る頂点が壁なんです。あなたもぜひ前原先生と合体で出展できるような大作家になってくださいね。
God, you're grounded.
応援していますよ。
It's fine to have a lot of passion for the things you like, but I didn't get it, but it seemed that the world of art ran pretty deep. It was probably a much deeper world than I could have imagined. I decided to leave it at that. Then I realized my mom was calling me from the other side of the room.
ケイチ、電話よ。お友達から。
It's one of those weird friends of yours. A lucky break. Maybe I could get out of this uncomfortable business party by using a friend's phone call as an excuse. I scampered over to the front door and snatched up the receiver my mom had left there.
もしもし。
Please get me out of here.
もしもし俺
Moshimo.
なんて挨拶はございませんですわよ、ケイチさん。もう少し言葉遣いをお勉強なさいませ。
I was of the opinion that the person speaking to me had a far stranger way of talking.
なんだ、佐藤じゃねえか。お前が俺のところに電話してくるなんて珍しいな。
大きなことを言ってる場合ではありませんのよ。それよりもケイチさん、あなたいつになったらこっちに来れますの？
悪い。こっちもなんだか長引いちゃってさ。なかなか解放してもらえないんだよ。俺も早く部活に加わりたいんだけどさ。
違いますですわよ、ケイチさん。今日は部活ではありませんわ。実践ですのよ。
Battle? Satoko's voice was different from normal. I could feel the urgency in it drifting through the phone.
実践？なんだか穏やかな話じゃないな。どういう状況なんだ？
詳しくは会ってからの説明にいたしますわ。とにかく絶対的な危機なんですの。このままでは負けてしまうでございますわ。
What on earth was going on? Could it have been a fight? Or maybe a ruse? I didn't know who they were, but laying a hand on someone from Hinamizawa was an absolutely terrible idea.
お、わかった。すぐに火星に行くぜ。場所はどこだ？
沖宮小学校のグラウンドですわ。
I don't know. I don't know about this. The real club members never needed anyone to reinforce them. Especially not Keiichi.
駅まで来れば簡単になるからわかりますですわよ。とにかく大急ぎですの。
The school campus. The situation could have a lot of people involved. Could it have turned into an all-out brawl? Who was the enemy here anyway? Oh, I'm on fire.
わかった。すぐ行く。武器も持って行った方がいいか。金属バットでも持っていくか。
No, bring a shotgun.
バットをお持ちですの。
Metal bat?
心強いですわ
That
よ。
sounds familiar.
お待ち申し上げておりますですわ。
Where'd you get that bat from? The call cut off abruptly. I needed to hurry.
お、ケイイチ、探したんだぞ。こちらの出口さんだな。ぜひ次のコピー紙で。
Oh, no, Genshi. Oh, no.
そんなことよりバットないかな。金属バットなければ長物なら何でもいいや。
長ければ何でもいいな。父さんのゴルフクラブが物置にある。
Don't use the golf clubs, you're gonna beat him up. It didn't have the same kind of impact, but a golf club was a splendid weapon too. It was lighter than a baseball bat, and maybe easier for me to use.
サンキュー。それ借りるよ。俺ちょっと友達のところに行かなきゃならない用事ができちゃったんだ。
My urgent golfing session.
ごめん。
ケイイチ、待ちなさい。
Sorry, Dad, can't tell me what to do. I grabbed a golf club, jumped on my bike, and headed straight for town. Wait for me, Satoko. I'll be right there. Just hold out until then. I didn't actually know where Okinamiya Elementary was exactly, but Satoko's phone call seemed to demand urgency, so I rushed out without asking her about how to get there. But if I went to the station, there would be signs. At least I feel like that's what she said. Then I heard the jingling of a bicycle bell from behind me.
こんにちはなのですよ。
おう、リカちゃんか。
ケイチ、早かったです。いっぱい急いだですね。
Dang, this isn't the time to be out of breath. I need to hurry.
すまん、沖宮小学校ってのはどこだ？
ご案内しますです。ついてくるですよ。
Why do you have a golf club? Rika-chan rode off on her bike. I followed her.
急に里子に呼び出されたんだが、一体どういうことになってるんだ？
はじめはこちらが優勢だったのです。ところが途中から向こうが助っ人を入れてきたのです。ズルなのです。
A helper? What cowards! Calling for reinforcements the minute they'd realized they'd lose?
みんなバッタバッタと打ち取られましたのです。
I mean, I feel like we've done that before.
歯が立たないのですよ。
Gulp. In fact, we did do that. We did that one time whenever we were at the cafe, right? We called in all the girls. We're like, hey, can you come help us so we can get rid of these creepy men? Gulp. Sounds like they were pretty strong.
とにかく詳しい話は後だ。時間がないんだろ。急いでくれ。
お任せなのです。
With Rika-chan leading the way, we headed straight for the elementary school grounds. I asked Rika-chan something during that time. It seemed that all of the club members besides me were part of this fight. Dang. So what was Mion trying to tell everyone? Was that this would happen? If I'd known that, I would have just ditched my family job. But it was too late for regrets. According to Rika-chan, we had a one-sided advantage at the start, but our angry foes had brought in a powerful ally. The club members put up a resistance and went against them one by one, but apparently they couldn't stand up to them.
部活メンバー総がかりで勝てない？一体そりゃどんな化け物なんだ？
すごいのです。敵は正統派なのですよ。
Orthodox. So they weren't using thuggish brawling tactics, but had actually studied karate or something? Is that what she meant?
もうケイチだけが頼みの綱なのですよ。
I'm trying to figure out what this is. I've got a few ideas. Okinomiya Elementary came into view. I could hear many voices raising hell over there.
ミオン、レナ、サトコ、今行くからな。俺がまとめてぶっ潰してやるぜ。
Don't talk so big. There were a lot of bicycles left out in front of the school. Are they playing baseball? Why'd you bring your golf club? I left mine there next to them in the same way. I could tell there were a lot of people flooding the campus. Were the two armies in the midst of a huge no-holds-barred brawl? I took my golf club in hand. Whoosh! I swung it! I felt the sensation of it sticking firmly to my palm. Great! The feedback wasn't bad. I'm gonna go all out with this thing. I dashed at a breakneck speed to the school gate, swinging it around.
ついてこい、リカちゃん。男前原圭一のバンプ不当な大活躍を見せてやるぜ。
わあ、ケイチがとても頼もしいのです。ゴルフクラブで大暴れなのです。
Rika-chan applauded me, though a little dryly, lauding my valiance. The manly Keiichi Maibara put it behind him and headed for the place where he may die.
でもケイチ、どうして今日はゴルフクラブなのです
Yep,
か？
I figured this was gonna happen.
仕方ないだろ。俺も最初はバットの方がいいと思ったんだが、うちでバットなくってさ、素手よりははるかにマシだと思って、せめてゴルフクラブを持ってきたんだ。
偉いのですよ。 圭一をなでなでしてあげますです。ゴルフクラブで大暴れが楽しみなのですよ。
Despite the emergency situation, Rika-chan reached up and stroked me on the head.
おい、ふざけてる場合かよ。え？
Crack! Just then an extremely loud metallic sound rang out, and I heard many people cheering.
レフト、あー抜けた。回れー、二塁いけるぞ、二塁。
センター落ち着いて、三塁へ送って。
The center fielder caught the ball, and after a brief pause, sent it flying to third base. If he had pitched it wildly, it might get there. He gave up on second and threw it to third with time to spare. The instructions from the bench, they were solid. Wait, what?
あ、圭一くん来てくれたよ。さとこちゃん、さとこちゃん、圭一くん来てくれたよ。遅すぎですわ。油を売るのはガソリンスタンドだけで十分でございますのよ。
Alright.
その前原君
Who are you?
本当に助っ人になれ
Who
る
are
ん
you,
ですか？
incredibly detailed kid? Are you an important part of the plot now?
相手はあの強豪校のエース、左腕の亀田君ですよ。甲子園クラスの投手を打ち崩せるなんて、一体
Why does he have a golf club?
大丈夫です。圭一くんならきっと逆転させてくれますよ。本当に頼もしい人なんです。
Murmur. What? He's the pinch hitter we brought in to take out left arm Kamida with his bullet fastball? One who had won no-hit, no-run game after another during the regional qualifiers. The undefeated demon pitcher of Oishima. The super high school level pitcher that had already been marked by professional scouts. He's going to win against him?
あんなヘナチョコピッチャーなんか圭一さんには目じゃないですのよ。
I told you the sports anime was coming. We're in the midst of a sports anime arc right now.
あんな玉楽勝でバックスクリーンを押してくださいますわ。
That's what we were preparing for the whole first chapter. Was for Keiichi's sports anime here. Murmur, murmur. There was a slugger like that in this prefecture? I had no idea. He must have gone under the radar. Hey! That scout stood up. Hey! Take a picture! His full name is Keiichi Maibara. Look him up in the database and send his history to our office.
俺が前原圭一だ。写真
A whole lot of sports journalists, led by Satoko, gripped their cameras tightly in search for the rumored Keiichi Maibara. As for me, I was so dazed at what was happening that I was frozen in place with my golf club up in the air.
圭一さん、こっちですわよ。え？
The camera people stared at me through their viewfinders. And just like that, just like I had, they turned to stone. In the hands of their gallant pinch hitter, Keiichi Maibara was a golf club? Nobody could seem to understand why I was holding something like this. And at this point, neither did I. Jeep, 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 jeep. A cold, greasy sweat dripped from me. The first one to break the inordinately awkward silence was Rina.
圭一くん、
おう。
一つ聞いてよろしいですか？
Please don't. Just don't. Psychic waves of my entreaty flowed out of my face along with my sweat. It somehow seemed to reach the two of them. The deathly quiet reporters all parted, as Moses once parted the sea. But Moses probably didn't go through the parted seas this quietly.
野球の試合なら初めからそう言え。
私言いませんでした？第一バット持ってグラウンドに来いって言ったら野球以外に何を思いつくわけですの？
I don't know. I think Keiichi was actually out to, like, beat someone up today.
というか、何をどう間違ったらゴルフクラブを持ってくるって発想になるわけでございますの？きっとね、暗いムードになったチームを明るくして盛り上げようとしてケイチ君がわざとやってくれたんだと思うな。
All precisely to plan.
思うな。
Rinna smiled bitterly and covered for me with all her might. Please believe her, everyone. I'm begging you.
ケイチはゴルフが大好きなのですよ。なでなで。
Rika-chan started patting my head, a broad grin on her face all the while. I pushed her hand away, grabbed her from behind by her suspenders, and picked her up like a kitten.
リカちゃん、なんでさっき駅で会った時野球だって教えてくれなかったんだよ。そうすりゃ赤っ端を書かずに済んだのに。
Sugoi. Rika-chan's smile was like the sun, so incredibly innocent. Ugh, she's glowing. When I saw Rika-chan's radiant smile, I couldn't help but feel like I could forgive anything she said, or did. However, if Rika-chan thought I actually would, then she had another thing coming.
というわけで、これはお仕置きだ。レナ。
Rika-chan still plucked up in my hand. Oh, I offered her to Rinna. That's right. The kidnified Rika-chan sent Rinna's voltage into overcharge.
もらった。レナがもらったんだよ。かわいいよ。
Hop. Spinny spinny. Rinna stuck out her tongue like a chameleon and preyed upon Rika-chan while spinning her around.
リカちゃんかい。
Oh man, now that's Sugoi right there. Ah.
リカちゃんかい。
Rinna held her tight as a vice and began to get her fill of rubbing her cheek into Rika-chan's. Their cheeks rubbed together tightly. Rika-chan's face. It looked like it was being crushed by Rinna's.
何があったかは存じませんけど、リカが自業自得のようですわね。
ああ、俺も最近ようやくリカちゃんがただ可愛いだけじゃないと悟ったぞ。
ケイチ君に許可をもらったんだよ。お持ち帰り。
For the moment, I just gave her a 3-minute timeout.